You can't be serious,
Right,
man.
you-
You cannot be serious!
A lot of things to speak about on episode 27 of Sam, Mike and Don. And now just before we get into those many things, bubbling along are the contestants trying to get a dinner or a lunch with you, Don, you, Mick and me at the Lobster Cave. We missed Australia Day because we weren't on because it was on Sunday and we weren't on, so we couldn't advertise the great smorgasbord of piscatorial.
That's better.
Pistorial. That's that bloke who killed his girlfriend in South Africa. What's his name?
His name was Oscar.
Oscar Pistorius. Was his name?
Yeah, that'll
Oscar
do.
Anyhow,
The bloke with no legs.
that's him.
Yeah.
Old Stumpy. Piscatorial.
Well, he's got something in common with Bill Ferg, hasn't he? No legs? Bill's got one leg, hasn't
He's
he?
a unidexter.
He's
Bill.
what?
A unidexter. He's just got the one
Is
leg.
it something like a unicycle?
You're a robo. Now, so there. Now, I've just got to mention this because it's not complicated. Well, it is for me because I'm not into this social media savvy.
You're
world.
not.
The
You tweet every 15 seconds.
I know how to tweet because that's just pushing a keyboard on a machine. But I'm not. So this is how if you want to come. Now, this is what you can have if you go down to Bill's.
Come on. We've got to. Come on.
This is an ad, Michael.
I know
Be
we don't do
tolerant.
ads. Why are you looking at me like that?
Well,
There's 27 topics that we need to address,
You are
and you're
very
doing an ad.
difficult, Michael. I
on
think
behalf of the Lobster Cave, Mick, you, me and Don are going to sit and have lunch or dinner with
Yes.
6 people who enter a competition to go and have bugs, doovers, cods, gropers,
Gropers.
down at the Lobster Cave. And I'm just telling you how you enter this. If you go to the website of my Instagram called Original Smart as Sam, there is a competition heading there and you have to type it in. You can't press the link. It won't automatically upload, but you can see it there. It says HTTP/MGL to 5
It's been good. I'm going.
What?
What are we doing?
Listen to this. I'm interested.
Are you interested, eh? We're having lunch with 6 people. Isn't that enough?
We're listening to the link.
We're not having lunch with 6 people if they don't enter the competition. And so if they go to my Original Smart as Sam and enter the link to qualify in 25 words why they'd like to come and have a piscatorial feast of excellence down at the Lobster Cave, that's how you enter, Mick.
Okay. Good boy.
Right. Now, I just thought I'd tell you that. Bill might be there and he might not be.
Okay.
Doesn't his mood change as soon as we come on air? Do you think you could wear a microphone around your neck permanently and you'd always be in a good mood? Because you're just like chalk and cheese.
Well, I'm not sure.
As soon as a microphone's put in front of you, you come alive, you smile, but you're a grumpy old man prior to.
It doesn't look like he's smiling to me, Don.
No, because, Mick, I'm trying to, you and Don just got warts on your ass from sitting on it doing nothing. I'm trying to
What
get
do
us...
you mean? I put so many suggestions last
I'm trying
weekend.
to-
Stop hitting me,
Well, I
please.
want a reaction. I want backup.
I'm trying to... Bill Ferg has kindly come on board to try and just help us along
we don't
here.
have to bend over and...
Yes, you do.
I'll
you
tell
do.
you, I'll bend you over and try and fuck some sense into you in a minute. Now, listen to me. No, seriously, all I'm doing is saying how you enter
Did he
the...
say what I thought he said
He
then?
did.
I take that back, I am sorry. All I'm doing, Mick, is telling people how they
Okay.
can come and enjoy our company at the Lobster Cave because
All right.
it's fantastic down there.
What
All
did
right?
You're good. What did you think of the tennis last night?
Well,
There's lots to talk about.
There is.
Not just the result, and Kyrgios was great.
yes.
Kyrgios
You've
is-
been cynical about Kyrgios.
No, I haven't.
Yes, but that is bullshit. I sat in a golf cart with you yesterday.
Oh, no, I said there's no way he'll beat him.
You said you wanted to have $10,000.
I would. That's
Yeah.
correct. No, I'm not. If you'll remember about his attitude and his conduct, I said if he wants to be like that along with Tomic, if they want to
Yeah.
do that, that's their problem.
That's okay, but last we need to acknowledge his his
I
commitment
wasn't
last night.
cynical about him. I just
You
said
were
that
so.
I said
you
he
you would
wouldn't-
have $10,000 on him and
that
hope
he
he
wouldn't
lost.
win.
Yeah.
I did not say that, Mick.
didn't.
Now, please. You're extraordinary, Mick.
Thank you for noticing, yeah.
Can we have a philosophical conversation about
just a
Kyrgios?
minute. I'm not having that. I'm not having words. I said Kyrgios would not beat Nadal if he started an hour before
you did
him.
say that.
I said that. And I said, but what I'd do is I'd put $10,000 on Kyrgios and hope he won. And if he didn't, that's what I'm saying. It's reverse psychology. I didn't say I hope he lost at all. I said I think he will.
You're happy for him to lose. Anyway, the credit where it's due. Like, I'm not a Kyrgios fan, but I thought he grew immeasurably last night. His commitment to the contest and his performance under pressure was brilliant.
Well, I thought his game prior to, and I will go on and say that I have never seen a tennis player possess so much ability as Kyrgios. I'm not saying he's the best tennis player I've seen.
Well, of course,
but
you just said
no, listen, there's a difference between ability. I have never seen a player possess the ability and the shots that he possesses,
Don, please.
But I'm not saying he's a good tennis player.
No,
there's a difference because the mind comes into it.
Of course it does.
Thank you,
But
Johnny.
if you'll just think Stan Wawrinka and Roger Federer and Djokovic and the boy.
They're tennis players. This bloke has got more ability than those fellows.
Easy.
I'm telling you, mentally, no. There's a difference.
No,
there is a difference.
At this stage, he certainly hasn't got more ability than Nadal.
What about the shots that he play? I'm talking about ability, John. These other players are strong in the mind. Now, there's a difference.
Yeah,
there's
I understand
a difference
that,
between a player and a fellow that possesses real ability.
Innate talent. Don.
Oh, unbelievable.
He's a brilliant stroke maker, isn't he?
Oh,
brilliant.
The shots that...
And he's the best serve I've seen in tennis.
Brilliant.
What about the shots?
Pity he couldn't beat Nadal.
Well, not many people do, Johnny.
There's a mind game, John.
No, he's a fantastic player. And
Don't you think do you see him in a different light now after last night?
I always thought he was a good player, and I didn't care about him.
I think
his antics on the field.
You didn't, really.
You know I didn't. I've said those boys can do what they like. It's up to the tennis authorities to take them aside. Didn't I say that?
Yeah, you did.
And when he smashed the racket, that's just a little bit of angst. And what about the bloke who couldn't catch it in the front row? He could have topped up his superannuation by selling that on eBay.
How embarrassing! Wouldn't you be embarrassed if that? It could happen to any of us.
Oh, dumb schmuck couldn't catch it. Seriously.
Well, he mightn't have been coordinated, John.
Exactly.
Okay, well, be sympathetic.
Why? That he's
because he's not
uncoordinated?
not like you.
Well, he's not there as a tennis player, Sam. He's there as a viewer.
Catcher of broken rackets.
Rackets, yeah, he practices that all day.
Now, I said to you yesterday after we played golf with Shane Warne and Dimitri Mascarenhas down at the National.
Who is Dimitri Ratri?
He's a mate of Shane's. Played with him in Hampshire.
What a Greek
Dimitri
he's
Ratatouille.
He's not Greek. What is he?
I think he's Sri Lankan, and he played for England.
Hampshire and England in 2020.
And he hit his claim to fame, Donald, he hit in a 6-ball over, he hit 5 sixes off consecutive balls in and it's on YouTube if you want to know how to actually download that yourself, Don.
I watch YouTube.
You watch YouTube?
YouTube.
Do you?
Is that all right, Johnny?
If you watch it. Yeah, you type in Dimitri Mascarenhas.
I can't even spell it.
Well, type in Dimmer, D-I-M-A.
Well, he coaches Richmond.
Very good, Don. With this bloke, anyway, why are we talking about Dimmer? The fact what a good golfer he is.
No, I said to you at the golf yesterday that Kyrgios wouldn't beat Nadal if he started an hour before him.
No, you did say that.
And he didn't. But I was impressed with him, and he was very good, and his temperament, and I liked him, and I still do.
Were you impressed with John McEnroe's post-game interview?
No, John's...
You cannot be serious, can you?
Jack,
What's
please.
wrong with his interview?
Cannot be serious.
He's a brilliant player, and I like his weird
attitude
attitude to everything. But He got lost last
Well,
night,
he
didn't he?
came out and he's just beaten Kyrgios, and the people are there. There's 15,000 of them want to hear Nadal speak about him and Kyrgios. And he said, now there's a tragedy happened, which it did. Kobe Bryant, he went on and on and on about Kobe Bryant, and he said to Nadal, the absolute best question I've ever heard, he said, what do you think about his death? Or vague words to that effect. And Nadal said,
Who?
well, did you say who?
Yeah. Does Nadal know Kobe Bryant?
He's met him once, he said.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the point. He
Yeah.
said, what did you think about his death? And he said, well, there's not a lot I can say, is there? What could you say? And then he said, have you met him? And he said, and it went on and on and on. And I thought, shit, this is absolutely ridiculous.
Being self-indulgent.
Well, just
no,
obscure.
he was just thought that he should be, because the world has actually come to a halt because of Kobe Bryant.
Well, in America it would. And he being American.
And he's been exalted into a fantastic...
Nadal's not American.
No, McEnroe. Oh, God, you're on drugs.
Well, if you are, give us some, because I don't think I'll get through this listening to you, Don. So on Kobe Bryant, not that we are, but
What, on drugs?
on Kobe Bryant, haven't they given him... Does anyone forget that he was accused of rape?
No, it wasn't rape, was it?
Rape.
Was it?
His rape
I thought
case.
there was a sexual misconduct, yeah.
Well,
That's-
you'll-
yeah.
But that's common, John, throughout the world
Yes,
with
no, it's very
sportsmen,
common.
even
Yep. No, it is.
in Victoria.
Yeah,
with
Mick and I have been up
AFL.
on rape charges.
If you let me finish,
Of
with
each other.
top-line sportsmen.
Yep.
Top-line sports, even in
Mike-
our game,
Mike Tyson.
AFL, they get away
Yeah.
with murder.
And when's the last person you raped, Mick? What can you... Can you put a date on it?
Do you want them in alphabetical order?
Numerical. No, I'm just saying.
Numerical order.
It's just saying he has, Kobe Bryant, lifted himself into the esteemed position that he is and well respected, but just never forget people have transgressed and overcome
Well, no,
that.
but
Get
did he
onto the
transgress?
tennis. He transgressed. Kobe Bryant, because he raped someone. Or he
Did
was
he?
accused of it.
Well, he's not. He hasn't been found guilty of it.
No,
has
he hasn't, because the girl who was 19 withdrew it and
Okay.
just said, I just want an apology. So he gave a long-winded
She probably
legal
got a
apology.
lot of money as well.
She got, I think, about $1.5 million. She
she?
settled with him.
Okay.
So,
And now-
but I'm not. He was
Now,
a
we
great
can't-
person.
Yeah, that's now, which sort of takes us in an obscure way to Margaret Court, doesn't it?
Yes.
How does it take us to
No,
Margaret
because
Court?
do you separate their private life or their life off the court
Yes.
from what they do on the court?
Oh, no, now Margaret Court hasn't transgressed
No, but
like Kobe
but she's
Bryant.
offended half of the
Oh,
the
Mike,
world.
she's offended a minority
No,
group.
No, I
But
wouldn't
even if she has, Don.
It's a bigger group than that.
Even if she has, she's a public figure and has a stadium named after Margaret Smith, who is now Margaret Court, because she married the ex-premier's son. So
Yeah.
she's Margaret Court from Western
We all
Australia.
realise that. You don't have to tell us.
Well, Don, I'm speaking to the International
You
House.
didn't know that, Rodney. Geez, you're real informed.
I'm
Who's
speak-
Rodney?
Rodney's the voice from the little voice on the left.
I'm speaking to the people who might listen to this, Don, who mightn't be up with the fact that she was Margaret Smith. And Mick is correct that I think you said that her sporting prowess, sometimes you have a responsibility to almost say the right thing, but her belief, like the man who plays rugby,
Israel Folau.
Israel Folau, they're religious, devoutly religious people, and they have a point of view, and probably, if asked, will give it, and that is transparency.
Well, I think she offered it without being asked, didn't she? I'm a Margaret Court supporter, right? Because of the contribution she's made to tennis and how big she was when I was young. But I'm not sure. I think she's gone too far in trying to.
Yes.
No, you don't go too far with your beliefs,
I haven't said
Michael.
it yet. I haven't said it yet. I don't think she can have her beliefs. There's no issue with that. But does she need to
Keep
send
ramming them
out
down
there?
your throat, Donald.
Yeah.
Well, people
when it
should
clearly
back off
when
and
it
not
clearly
ask her.
offends. No, she offered them. She offered them in her role as a Pentecostal minister, didn't she?
Anyway, let's get off that because
Why?
I am a great. I think
Well,
as an athlete, Margaret Court is just probably the best female
Yes,
athlete
that's a
that
given.
we have produced.
That's a given, Don. We're not talking about
but
that.
it hasn't really been recognised because
Really?
in her era it wasn't publicised. Imagine if she was playing today.
I tell you why
She would be she was a superstar. She would be
It probably
so far
hasn't
above
been
any of them.
recognised to the extent today because people jump into the lifeboats and don't want to give her too much because of her radical views
I'm
about the
talking
way
about
the
her-
world's going.
Her athletic
Fair enough,
prowess.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's
Yeah, well, that's
a given.
That's a given. Yes.
It's not a given. She was just outstanding.
That's a
Yeah, she
given,
was.
Dom. That's what that word means.
That's
a
what
given.
24 Grand Slams would suggest. That Don.
That's a given. You don't have to say that.
She could have represented Australia. Well,
Well, she did.
no, as an Olympic athlete.
Yeah, because they didn't have tennis in the Olympics then. No?
As a runner, I think it was.
Oh, no, well, she
I
was
think
a tennis
she
player.
was very good at everything athletically.
Yeah.
Hey, can I ask you something about?
What are you looking at me for?
Well, I tell you, because you had a whole lot of things that you're going to say about Australia Day and who's in charge
Yeah.
of things and the diverse
given
nature
up-
of
I've given
gender
up.
neutrality.
I've given up giving suggestions to you. I came up with a guest
like-
this week, and that was canned. I've come up with a musical
Who
theme.
is the guest this week?
No, don't worry about that.
was
And a
it?
musical theme. So there's my
haven't-
contribution.
We haven't given up on the musical theme.
Oh, haven't we?
Pardon?
Haven't we?
Come
What
on,
are you
children.
you repeating what I say?
John,
I said, go ahead.
I want to ask you. This is subtle, baby. Do you think that?
Don won't get it then.
Do you think Kyrgios was taking the piss when he grunted after hitting his shots against Nadal?
Mate,
He doesn't do it
Mick,
traditionally.
I'm prolific on the tweet machine during
Yeah.
tennis, and that was downright exhibitionism and annoying. There's no need for that man to grunt.
Was he having a shot at Nadal? Wasn't he?
I don't know if he's having a shot, but it was just annoying. And then
If
I
he's never
tweeted-
done it before and he does it to the world's greatest
Yes.
grunter, do you think there's a message there?
Probably, and then I tweeted that, and then people rang back, tweeted back and said, "Oh, are you embarrassed that two men grunt? Have you ever been in a bedroom?" Oh, look,
What's a bedroom?
What's
They're
a
not in
bedroom
bedroom?
gotta
We're on
do
a
with
tennis court.
the people who tweet back, you must be a level of IQ that you have to attain to be part of the social media. There's some of the comments that people write
Well,
back,
you're into it.
but I make sense, Don.
Oh, you do.
I do.
Yes,
Oh.
you do.
Oh.
You never miss.
Never miss. Like the handshake
Oh.
at the net.
Yeah,
What
no, that was a
handshake?
good point. I agree with
What?
you about that.
What?
Tell me about the
Okay,
handshake
so
on the
when
net.
you have C2 combatants, let's say heavyweight boxers at the 15th round or the 12th round when it's ended, and they walk towards
and
one,
they embrace one another.
but usually directors who have got their head up their ass show pictures of the crowd and their trainer. You miss the actual embrace,
No, you were
the
good like-
emotion of sport.
You were right about that last
So
night.
what
Thank
was
you.
so they didn't show the handshake?
They
No,
did,
they did,
for the
but
first
unusual.
time.
So
ever.
what impression did you get of the both of them? Was it amicable?
Yes.
Was there a
Those-
respect
yes.
between?
No, I would.
between
It was functional. Functional.
Begrudging respect.
Yes.
Who from?
Probably Nadal, but I think Nick was very conciliatory to him. He had been beaten by a better man.
I
on the
saw
night.
him. I saw him applaud at one stage. Am I right?
No, that was
Nadal.
rubbish. That was rubbish.
No, he did.
I
he
think-
did. Just,
No, there was a mock
acknowledge-
applause at
well,
one.
what do you want him to throw his hands in the air and say, "Great
No,
shot,
I
Rafa"?
wanted to do what every other tennis player does and just get on with the next point.
Oh, but you
Well,
can acknowledge a
yeah,
great
exactly.
passing shot, Mick. Come on, don't be
Do you
so
reckon he was-
rigid.
do you reckon? Do you think he meant that? Do you think that was?
He has
I
done it
do.
in previous games,
when you
Michael.
ripped the ball down the line and it beat him,
was
he
that
just
the
went
shot that he acknowledged? Was it?
tat, tat, tat. Yes.
Yes, he did that in other matches too.
I'm prepared.
That was immediately prior to him smashing his racket onto the
Geez,
court.
didn't he give that a workout?
Beautiful. And that silly dumb cock. The
Who?
the cock jockey that couldn't catch the racket.
Well, get off it. What about the other bloke? Now, I want to ask you one other thing about this tennis. Last night, we had two blokes playing, and the face I saw most in the whole night was Nick Kyrgios' father. Jesus.
And
He's sitting there, all he could do was whistle.
this is my point, Mick. This is my point. Why do we show inane shots of people sitting in the crowd
His father.
time after
His
time?
father was on for an hour and a half.
Was
I
he?
know. They actually they get an apparel sponsor now. People dress them because they know they're going to be on a lot, and they say yes. He's wearing country
Well,
road blazer.
his brother did that a couple of years ago, didn't he? Yeah. Nick Kyrgios' brother wore somebody's advertising on his T-shirt,
That's right.
and it received a lot of attention.
That's
well,
right.
Exactly what they were
Marketing,
trying to do.
Don.
It is.
It's exploiting the situation.
Is that what you call it? Marketing.
And that analyst in the front row, Sammy, he looked like he was a serial killer. Did you see him? And he was I shouldn't say that, should I?
What?
The nerdy looking bloke in the front who was
Nerdy?
On whose camp?
Curious.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't
Didn't
notice
notice him. Glasses.
Yeah, that's right. He looked like Dr. Spock. He looked like a nerd. He did look like a nerd.
Oh, I don't know why we
How
spent
many's,
so
Who was
how many's
that?
in his
He's-
camp?
I was wondering
I
who
think
that
he's
was.
his analyst, I think.
And you know what they do? Before they jump up, they look at the screen to see if they're on, and then they jump up, and they keep looking at themselves on the screen. They are just two-bit wankers.
Notwithstanding all that, it was great entertainment.
It was fantastic,
Yeah.
Mick.
How many's in his squad or team?
15 probably.
That many people to get him on the court.
Well, I think he's,
Well, I mean, it is. He's
he
on the
manages
court.
to get on the court by himself,
Yeah.
but I think all these.
No, well, he can't because he's got 15
Well,
helpers
Don,
or contributors.
We
or
spoke to Pat. Were you here last week?
No,
You didn't speak to
Did
Pat
you talk to
Cash.
Pat Cash?
No, I
you
didn't.
dominated that show.
I know, but I
You
wasn't
spoke
here.
to Pat Cash, and Pat said that he was one of the first to have a trainer and a
I know
physio
that.
and a doctor and a nutritionist and a manager.
They were part-time.
Well, I said that's 30 years ago or 20 years ago. He said he was the first, and it's just grown.
Yeah.
You would have a stable of about 15 people to part
It's a little bit like AFL football, isn't it? That the football
No,
department...
not one bit like
Not
AFL
one
football.
bit like it, Don.
Excuse
No.
me, if you put a time and motion person through a football club nowadays, you get rid of half the jobs.
There
That's
are
right.
45 people on an AFL list. We're talking about looking after one player.
I don't care. You do not need so many.
So were you-
we're
did you
just
look-
over-servicing a lot of sports nowadays.
Yes,
Why can't
no.
you stand up and do it yourself?
Yes, that's no, Don. I think that's a fraction extreme, but I do take your
Oh.
point. Did you watch the tennis last night?
No, I watched it till I thought he was going to lose the fifth, so I turned it off. But I watched it.
when
up
did
till
you
that.
turn it
play
off?
5 sets.
Oh, well, up to the fourth
They didn't
set.
play 5.
I'm sorry. The third, sorry.
It was over after the fourth, Don.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the third set.
You
I
thought-
watched the other one, 5 sets against the Russian.
Oh, yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get on to that in a minute. We're talking about Kyrgios and Nadal. So you,
Well, I'm talking about Curious. I watched his previous one, which I thought was a
Okay.
terrific
So he
effort
was-
over 5 sets.
the previous one?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, no, we'll get on to that in a minute. That was
Why
terrific.
would we-
Now, one last one from me on
No,
the
it
tennis.
doesn't have to be last one, Mick.
no,
We're just
from me, I
shooting
said.
the breeze
I want to
here.
say this.
Don't forget we're going to Bill Fergs with
We
3
are.
other people.
Well, I hope Ash
6
Barty's
other
one of them
people.
because I thought Ash Barty's performance
At
on
Bill Fergs?
Yeah, I hope she's most welcome. Her performance on Saturday night, was it?
Yes,
Yes.
it was shocking.
It was terrible, wasn't it?
No, but hang on,
The
a
best
good-
player in the world.
Yes.
I reckon she made 40
She
unforced
was
errors.
mesmerised by the wind.
The wind?
Wind.
Whose wind? Hers? Or
Well, I'm not sure if she had wind, but she smiled a lot. Could have been gas. I don't know. But she said, and they said last night that the wind blew one end. They were serving with the wind, and they had to return into
The
it.
girl at
And at
the
one
other...
stage, I'll tell you what, at one stage, Hewitt said, who was doing that courtside stuff, which is absolutely redundant. I don't know why anyone does that. He said, the court slopes from the top right-hand corner to the bottom left-hand side of your screen. He said the court slopes.
Well, probably to get rid of the water.
Oh, you reckon the people who built the court would build it on a slope, do
They
you?
may
No,
put
no,
a bit of an
no,
inclination.
there is a
Why would there be?
to clear the water, as Don said.
Thank you.
It's got a roof on it.
No,
Yeah,
it's
but that
open.
might be open
They
one
played
day.
with it. That's why the wind was there, John, because the roof was open.
But I'm talking about the water. Are you saying they built the court on an angle so the water
Yes.
drains off it?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
what absolute nonsense.
What, that they did it or what we're saying?
Both.
So how would you, if they left the roof open and it rained, how would you get rid of the water on the court
You get
if
a
it was perfectly...
Squeegee, Donald.
Oh, I see.
When's the last time you were on the end of a
Yes.
squeegee?
A squeegee?
Oh, when he was doing his lawn out the side of his unit. In other words, he's never done anything practical in his life.
So go
Listen,
ahead.
getting back to Ash Barty, I disagree with you too.
Yeah,
I thought
again.
there was a good player who was just off form.
Frisk.
A good player, out, and she didn't play well, but she still won.
Yep.
That is a mark of a good player.
She had
woman's name was-
28.
The woman's name was Risk.
Oh, Risk it was too. She had 28 unforced
I
errors.
know. I said to you, It's a sign of a good player when she still wins and didn't play well.
Sign of a good player when she has 28 unforced errors.
That's right. And she didn't play well, but she still won, John.
All right, Donald,
okay.
that's one man's opinion.
Okay, now
And Ash Barty may well be entering the competition to come with us down
and
to the
come to
Lobster
Bill's.
Cave.
That'd be good, wouldn't it? Hey, one in 10
Glad you've come
Australians,
round a bit.
1 in 10 Australians got an award at the weekend in the Australia Day Awards.
Did you?
Which award did either of you get?
Well, we'll get one if we keep
Obviously,
doing this.
you got one.
Oh, sorry, I can't mention his name.
Yep. Law.
He says there are 1,039 people got awards. 1,099. There won't be anyone left that hasn't got an MBE soon.
Do you know what amazed me about that?
What?
Rosie Batty,
Yeah.
who I'm sure she's a fantastic person, not sure why she was Australian of the Year at all in the first place, but good
Yeah,
on
I
her.
know I am. I agree with that.
She said with utter incredulity that Bettina Arndt
Yep.
was given a gong
Yep.
because her beef, her platform, Bettina Arndt's, was gender equality through advocacy for men.
No, that wasn't her beef. No.
Pardon?
That wasn't her beef with the Bettina Arndt Award.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. Her beef was that Bettina Arndt had gone to bat for a pedophile.
Well, Mick,
No, that's different to advocacy of men's rights.
that's what it. That's she was. It was quoted for saying that's what she got.
No,
She
know.
got the Order of Australia.
That was the
for that.
citation. That was the citation.
That's correct.
But Rosie Batty's beef, and legitimately so, and that of many others, was that Bettina Arndt had supported a pedophile.
No, but we'll get onto that in a minute.
That's the issue.
No, but that's what I was just reading out what she got.
I know, but they are those who are against the Arndt citation or
yes.
award say that she clearly
Yes.
expressed support for a pedophile, and they railed against that.
I'm taking that absolutely on advisement, Mick. I was just quoting what she got her member of the Order of Australia for, and Rosie
We got any
Batty.
crickets left, Jack? Do you understand what we're talking
Yeah,
about?
I
No,
do.
I don't, because
I do.
I'm not aware of the issue.
I do. No, that's fine. So people often employ pedophiles.
You read Twitter. People often employ pedophiles.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, one major organisation in sport in this country has employed one.
Who?
You're talking about the AFL, I
Yes,
presume.
I
yeah?
am. Yes.
Keep
And
going.
you're talking about the former Xavier College
I am.
principal,
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Philip Warbridge.
Tell Don
Please
what we're
tell me,
talking
fill
about.
me in.
You know about this?
No, I do. Oh, yes, Michael, I do.
Philip Warbridge was principal of Xavier College.
Convicted or
Was he? I don't
indicted,
No.
charged.
The
Come
old
on,
boys
get
of
to it,
He's
get
dead,
to it.
so you can say whatever you like.
Yeah, but you've got to be fair too.
Not necessarily.
He died at his own hand, Donald.
Oh, really?
Just before Christmas. He went from Xavier College under one of those clouds and went to the AFL to head up their traineeship
But don't say
program.
under one of those clouds. He was accused of being a pedophile.
Yeah, but that's a cloud.
Well, say what it is, and we're saying that the AFL should probably never even done their due
Well,
diligence.
I would have thought due diligence would say we better be wary of this bloke.
Not be wary. He shouldn't have got a gig.
Yes, and not put him in charge of kids.
Well, don't beat round the bush, Mick.
Well, I'm not. I've
You are.
outlined it here.
He was charged with being a pedophile. He took his own life because he didn't want to face the consequences, probably.
I agree with that. Yes.
And the AFL employed him and should never have if they were doing
So,
their due
excuse
diligence.
me, gentlemen,
I
how
agree
long
with
was he
all that.
employed by the AFL?
I don't know how long, but he was in charge of the traineeship program in which kids, girls and boys of their late teens are part of. And he was in charge of that. And as Sam said, if under the heading of due diligence, that would have seemed highly improbable.
The
and
major
certainly
sporting
highly-
body in the country.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is not some-
I agree. I'm
So-
astounded.
So you're astounded by the number of awards. Do you think they're losing their significance
Yep.
a bit, Mick?
Yep. And I think if I had to generalise, I would say I agree with the people who say the awards should be for people who improve humanity for nothing, rather than people who get rewarded for
Climate
jobs.
change people.
Yeah, I'd be in favour of that.
So would I.
Geez, are you like Andrew Bolt? Have you just changed your view
I
subtly
hope so.
now and sort of say, look, I don't deny climate change anymore, but
I've never denied climate change. Mick, please, you have selected. I've never denied climate change. What I say is I don't accept the reasons why it's changing.
Did you see Bolt said in the paper yesterday, warming is better. Now he says, okay, we're having climate change, but we're better off for it.
I've never denied climate change.
And
I've
Rupert
said
Murdoch
I don't
says,
accept the reasons
Rupert
why.
Murdoch says the News Corp, doesn't have climate change deniers on their staff. What sort of nonsense is that?
No, but I don't deny that climate's changing. I disagree with the reasons people like you give for it changing.
Well, we're going over old ground, aren't we?
Well, we are, but those two are very logical conversations to have. That's a logical position for me to have.
The deniers are,
What do you say?
are
Climate
changing
change is causing what, Michael?
The weather,
climate
the
change.
planet.
Come on.
No, the climate is changing because of what we, the human race, does to the planet.
Thank you. So we've got to, again, I go back to my thing, we've got to limit population, don't we? And we've got to do
the behaviour of population.
Well, no, we can't, because the fires, and if you're talking about the fires, we've got to use controlled burning again. There's a practical reason for it. And as far as climate change, this year, well, I go by the country and the weather. We've had more rain this year over summer, January. My lawns, for example, are green. My paddocks are green. Well, you tell this.
I rest my
Usually
case, yeah.
They usually are died off, and I'm feeding
country's-
hay to the horses.
The country's in a 10-year drought, Donald, and
Well,
your lawns
down
are
my
green.
way, now, down my way, the paddocks are also green.
So
there's no drought.
So you won't argue with this, Mick, because this is a fact. Plants.
There is parts of Australia that are not.
Plants-
This is an exceptional year down here, southern Victoria.
Plants emit, Mick.
You wouldn't know. You live in a bloody concrete jungle.
Plants emit
You're
a
not an
substance
observer.
which cleanses the planet. Plants emit that cleanses the CO2 into the. So here's a scenario that you won't agree with. Donald Trump said we should
I don't
plant.
agree.
We should plant 1 trillion trees. That would do more to curb carbon emissions than anything that you could lay claim to. 1 trillion trees would help improve the
There
atmosphere.
are other plants that convert carbon dioxide better than trees too, and they're being
plants, I
developed.
said.
Yeah, plants. Yeah, plants that.
What are you looking at, Mick? You didn't like Trump's.
I can't believe you.
You didn't like Trump's scenario.
You're the champion of the minority view, aren't you?
Trump's minority view?
Yeah, he is.
Not at all. How did he get elected?
Because those bozos in the Rust Belt or whatever it's called.
Yeah, the rank and file, the ordinary people out
It's
there.
not, his idea of planting more trees. Yes, I go with it because we're logging timber. We're stripping South America of its timber, the forest. Why don't we replace it?
That's what he said.
Exactly. It's common sense. I
The
agree
Russians
with
got
you.
him home anyway.
So who?
The Russians.
Oh, geez.
Yep. No, I think you're right there, Mick. So
What about politicians? Before you go on,
Don't hit me again,
Bridget,
will you?
I didn't hit you. Bridget McKenzie.
Oh, good point, Donald.
And we go on. Do you think they are the worst profession
Yep.
in Australia or world? To be a politician is like going back to being an insurance salesman, car salesman,
Journo.
horse
Real
trader.
estate agent.
sportsman.
Yeah.
Sports,
No, you're right about Bridget McKenzie.
No, all politicians.
No, okay, but
Michael,
in this
don't
case,
just
in this case,
isolate
we're
her.
talking about her. No, and her and her boss. What's the Nationals leader's name?
Barnaby Joyce.
No, not him. McCormack, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
well done.
And ScoMo. Where is?
But it's
Do you
in,
think what do you think they think integrity means? Those people.
But even what's happening in our
Don't single ScoMo out for that. It's been going on.
He should have
Gillard.
sacked this woman.
Just a minute. When we started this 2 years ago with another person called the Beast, the first thing we ever said about anything going on in the world was what?
Corruption.
Corruption. The world is corrupt in every department, and this is another example of it. And don't blame Scott Morrison for this, because
He's her boss.
Julia Gillard and successive Labor and Liberal leaders exactly suffer the same fate. And here's this woman, this pioneering Australian filmmaker can't even find her name, was over in Darvo for cultural expansion. She was on behalf of Australia, saying we've got to get rid of ScoMo and have new people in office. What a pioneering dragon she is.
Who is she? You've never mentioned her name. You've given us... Fix up your headsets too. They're coming over your head. John?
Yep.
Fix your headsets.
Thanks, Don.
Don, you brace it, Don. The sports allocations or whatever they were to clubs. I mean, there's not one person in the country that thinks she's done a good job with that.
Yeah, but
including
they
the
were
Sports
taking that in
Commission.
isolation. What about that bloke up in northern Queensland who flew across to the big fat fellow?
Clive Palmer?
No, the other fellow who's still in Parliament, flying off to see Europe, not Europe,
I know.
Asia.
Yeah, the Philippines, yeah.
I mean, he abused his parliamentary privilege as well.
Yep.
They all do it.
Yeah.
And this is,
No, I agree.
I just think they're not held to account. And
Well,
thank God for the media, and I've said this before, if it wasn't for the media, imagine what they'd be doing, these people.
No, I agree. And in fact, it was the Auditor General.
Lynn Walworth.
What's Lynn Walworth got to do with it?
That
Well,
was
she's over in Darvo saying we've got to get
Where's Darvo?
different. Well, this was what the Trumps, the meeting over
in Switzerland.
Yeah, they were all about climate.
Where
and the
your friend Greta, what's the girl's name?
Greta?
Greta.
Thunder Thighs. Yeah. Has any of her predictions and any of the Suzuki girls' predictions of 30 years ago, has any climate change predictions ever come true?
They're
or are we
coming
just
true.
waiting? They're coming. We're waiting, are we?
Yeah. What
30 years ago, the girl Suzuki, who was
Do
12.
you think there's
12?
the doomsday clock? Are you as cynical about that? You think that's contrived because of the money that some organisation's giving them?
Yes.
You do you?
Yes.
Jeez.
Hey, look, on a lighter subject, boys, I saw a couple of films
That's
through the
light.
week. No, this is light.
This is pretty light. Mick saying that he can't believe my doomsday predictions, then goes, Jesus. That's light.
Just using our Lord's
No,
name
that-
in vain.
Oh, sorry, the Reverend Donald Scott.
What's happened to
hang on.
Pell?
Pell?
Is he still going?
He's in
Yeah,
jail.
he's waiting for the High Court to
Well,
do
I
something.
thought that was meant to be out weeks ago, wasn't it?
No, he's still in.
Maybe you'll get a job at the AFL.
Listen, I saw a couple of films.
Don hasn't got that.
No, I don't
I
mind
did.
that.
I'm not interested in your humour. I watched a Netflix show the other day. Fascinating. It's called The Killer Inside,
Yeah.
The Mind of Aaron Hernandez.
Yes, there's a friend of ours who's been preaching that to me for a month.
And Jacinta, our friend Jacinta, is halfway
The
through
nameless one.
I see.
The
Sorry.
nameless and voiceless one.
Oh, dude. And don't ever, he's getting annoyed. Don't mention his name, and people not interested in knowing it, Rodlaw. Don't ever say it. So go on. What about it, Don?
Well, it's just a fascinating documentary
Is it?
of a man who climbed the top in his sport, outstanding athlete. There's a lot of patting
Just
goes on.
happened to kill a few people along the way.
No,
didn't he?
well, I came away after the third episode thinking, did he?
Did he?
Yes, did he?
Did he
Did
go
he?
to jail?
Yes, and committed suicide whilst in jail.
I see.
But I'm not. I suggest.
That's good. That's the end of the movie for about 30,000 people.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know either.
What's that?
I didn't know he committed suicide.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Anyway, have a look. I thoroughly
So
recommend
why
it.
didn't you believe that he was? Why did you believe he was?
Well,
innocent?
it just left me with a lot of thought. They put a lot of theories at the end as to why he did it. I'm not going to spoil it because it's.
Oh, you just
fascinating.
have.
Well, I've given you one thing about committing suicide.
Did Jeff Epstein commit suicide?
Yeah,
He did, didn't
Nah.
he? No.
No way.
No.
and the other film.
He
The
was
other
done
film.
in, Donald.
Okay, well, the other one. Will you be quiet, Rodney? I'm on a roll. What's CTE? No, I'm not going to go
Never
because
forget this, Donald. Being found not guilty doesn't necessarily mean you're innocent.
that's profound.
It is. It's
the other film I
Not
saw
profound,
was
that's logical.
the other film that you would all relate to is Ride Like a Girl.
Well, hang on.
Yeah,
You
I've seen
finished
that.
Hernandez?
You've seen. What did you think, Michael?
I liked it, but I'm a racing person. So
Yeah, but didn't you? I thought as a film it was quite emotive.
yes, no, I liked it. I liked it a lot
And the performance of Stevie Payne was outstanding.
because it was natural.
Exactly.
You know, it's the highest rating. Sam, before you put your hand down,
That's all right.
it's
You
the
don't have
highest
to mention
rating.
that. I was trying to get
It's the
his
biggest
attention.
box office hit in Australia last year. Ride Like a Girl,
Fantastic.
and the critics panned it.
Yes, they did. They
Yeah.
canned it. Well,
Panned.
They've never.
I thought canned.
Do you know
see.
what? Here's another profound thing, Don. They've never erected a statue to a critic ever.
To a what?
A critic,
What's
No,
that got to do with the
that's true.
film?
because critics are like eunuchs in a harem.
Yeah, they
They're there
are.
every night.
Oh, I see.
What a
They see
good
it
line
done
this
every
is.
night.
Yeah.
They see how it should be
Okay.
done,
Yeah.
but they can't
Can't
do
do
it
it
themselves.
themselves.
Oh,
Yep.
geez, that's
That's
not.
a good one.
I haven't heard that before.
Oh, you haven't.
I only
I've
had
had
to
300,000
Well, I
times
had to
that.
bring it up because Don said
Well, I was
the
quoting.
critics panned it.
Yeah.
Oh, you said
So
that.
we should have we banned critics.
Well, they're only subjective opinions of the person
course
looking
they
at
are.
it. So
Why would they can it? I thought it was.
give us a
very-
rating, Don, of Hernandez, that film first. Give us a rating out of 10. How many? Or 5 stars
I
is the
hate
biggest.
Netflix because it goes over series. I'd rather
Don't
watch
worry
everything.
about Netflix. Just
I'd
give
say
us
10 out of 10 because I came away actually thinking.
Did he commit
What'd you say?
suicide?
I'd give it
He
20 out
did.
of 10 in that
He
case.
did he? Well,
But you come away thinking, could it have been this? Did he do that? Why did
Okay.
he do this?
and what about Ride Like a Girl? How
Now,
many? did
hang
you
on,
give that?
Mick, please. And what was
I'd give
how
that
did-
9.
What did you come up with? Why did he do it? Did you believe his innocence, Don?
No,
Did you?
there's so many extenuating circumstances.
Extenuating.
Circumstances. His upbringing. I won't.
that-
I'll
is-
ruin it. Okay, his sexuality. And it goes on
You
and on
ruin
and
it.
on in his mind and his brain.
So his sexuality, his upbringing,
Yeah,
he
all of
hanged
this comes in
himself,
it.
and you. Oh no, that's. I must go and see it. It'll be a shock when I see how it turns out.
Sorry, Jack. And his mind.
Oh, in
Yeah.
his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
anyway, watch
Drugs?
it. Watch it.
All right. Well, we will.
And the
Now, what
other
about
one,
a ride like a girl?
will you
How
be
many?
quiet for a moment? I'm going to roll again.
We'll
I
determine
saw a
that.
film. I think the best comedy ever made is Faulty Towers. It's 13 episodes. It continually runs.
You just seen that, have you? It's been out 25 years. Its anniversary
You
last week.
smarter. Actually, your logo's very good, or you think smart ass.
Come on.
He's a real
Why are you talking about
smartass.
Faulty
Yes,
Towers?
exactly.
Because I watched a Australian comedy that ranks with Faulty
Wow.
Towers
What's it
last
called?
night,
What?
and it is ageless. John, we used to listen to Fred Dagg back in the 70s.
We did.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, g'day.
Yeah, that's right.
Today I want to talk about selling real estate. Come in, mind the step.
What's the Australian comedy?
The games.
The what?
The games.
The games.
Oh, have a look at the games. John, what's his name? John Clark.
Brian Doyle.
Yeah, Brian
Is it
Doyle
Brian
and
Doyle?
Gina Riley.
Yep.
Oh,
And
yeah?
it is ageless. It is still
Picked that up
relevant.
quick on that one.
How long ago is that on?
Well, it was made prior to 2000, wasn't prior to the Olympics?
20 years ago.
Yes, and it's still relevant today.
Well,
Very, very funny.
And what was your best episode of Faulty Towers?
The whole
like-
13.
I see. So you've narrowed it down to the whole lot. Have
I
you?
thought the whole series was brilliant.
All right.
All right. Now,
And
So,
so,
how many stars out of 5 did you give Riding Like a Girl?
9.
9. You've revisited, have you? 5 in the first instalment, 4 for the second.
A 9 out of 5 you gave Ride Like a Girl,
Did you see it, Sam?
Jesus, what? No, I didn't, Mick. I'm tell you what I'm not going to watch. The Hernandez movie, because I know it back to front without actually ever going. And I'm going to watch Ride Like a Girl.
Right,
Now,
No,
look
you
at
should. Ride
Hernandez.
Like a Girl's
now,
good.
out of 1 million, Don, what ranking would you give Ride Like a Girl?
4.
Yeah, 5 stars out of 1 million?
Hey, I want one movie, 1917.
Yes, you went and saw that, didn't you?
I did see that.
Who'd you go with?
A friend of yours.
Oh, now let's see who that'd be. Don,
hasn't got any.
let's see, Don.
Kevin?
Female friend of yours.
Oh, well, I just narrowed it down to 2.
I went with Caroline Wilson. Look, he's going to choke this bloke.
Sorry, go ahead. Yes, and what?
I saw. Yeah, she liked it a lot. I wasn't mad on it.
What was it about, Mick?
Well, was it one day in the war, in the First World War?
One day?
Yeah.
So the whole film, 3 hours goes over one day?
That's correct, Don.
Well, maybe 36 hours in
generic terms.
Yeah. I mean, I mark films pretty hard on the question of credibility.
Of course you do.
No, I do. That's just me.
That's right. You're like the Ferrari and Ford.
Yes, but you agreed with me about Ferrari and Ford.
I do, Mick. I agree with
rubbish.
a lot of things. I met someone today who I played golf with, said, did you see that? It was fantastic. I said, I actually didn't know him too well. I didn't like to say, you've got to be joking. I said, no, I didn't like it at all.
Now, you and I didn't like it.
No, we didn't.
Most people do. But that's movies and books.
Subjective.
Correct.
It's subjective.
That's what they are. That's what they are. Yeah.
So go on.
1917 was good, but you know, I wouldn't break my neck to go back and watch.
Did you break your neck to go with Caroline? Did you have a little small canapes before you went in?
A small canapes.
Canape. Did you have a canape? Did you?
No.
And a Beaujolais and just lightened up and then went in and sat down?
No, we went to the movie and then we had dinner at the sailing club afterwards.
Just you two?
Sailing club.
Just the two of us.
There's rumours going around, Mick.
Well, we're two adults, so you can't, because you're different genders, it's fraught with danger, is it?
Absolutely.
Is
in
it
this
really?
day and age, people will
Sorrento
be saying,
Sailing Club?
I saw Mick Sheahan with Caroline
Well, they did
Wilson.
say
I
that.
tell you
Sorrento
what,
Sailing Club?
Sereno Sailing Club.
You're a
reckon
member?
there's something
No,
going
she is.
on there.
Yeah.
That's what people will be saying.
I've known her since she's 17.
That people don't care. They don't even look to know how long you've known her. They'll think that you're on with her. Mm-hmm. And then they'll be re-examining your brain.
What do I have to
How
respond
many
to that?
out of 5 stars? Did you give it 10? Now, how many out of 5 stars?
What, the movie?
Yes? 3?
3.5.
Well, 3.5
Yeah.
a star.
Yeah.
That's
You can give half stars.
Of course you can.
Lee Patch does.
Who?
What are you looking at?
Who's our guest today, do you know?
Have we got one?
Well, I think so, haven't we?
Well,
Yeah, well, don't you worry about it because
No,
you
no,
won't be here.
I know. Have we got one, John?
I thought that...
Yeah, we got one.
What
you
happened,
got
to
one?
what happened to the normal process where we kick it around and decide, the three of us decide?
Well, I made a suggestion. I got a kick in the butt last week, the halftime address,
Yeah.
for not contributing.
Were you gonna, did you get Jerry Ryan?
Well, I put that name up,
What happened
and
to
I
it?
also made another suggestion about the theme music. What's happened? Do you know what's happened with
No,
the
I'm
theme?
happy with the theme music. No, you won't get my vote on that.
This is at the end of the show.
The end of the
Instead
show.
of playing Daddy Cool.
Cool. I thought we
come
could...
back again. Well, Don, while you sit here, RoboCop, and at the end of this segment here, part 1, or it might be the only part, judging by the news I've just got, at the end of part 1, Donald, you give us a final song that you think would be appropriate.
No, we change it every week. You
Well,
wanted a contribution.
change it this week.
Michael, he wants a contribution.
Yeah.
We put a contribution, but it's just overruled. Now, who was the
Well,
guest?
It's his show.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Don,
okay, fair enough. No, Michael said
write
it's yours.
down on a bit of
No,
paper.
that's fine. Okay, I know now.
Don,
I won't contribute in
Don,
the future.
Write down on a bit of paper what we should end this segment with.
Don't
give
point
it
your
to
pen
the
at
man
me.
we can't mention, and I will get it on my phone so that at the end of the segment we will play your closing music. All right?
So I consult with Rod Law.
Who?
The man who...
Talk about corruption. Have you ever travelled with Trivago?
No, but
That's a
they're in
car.
trouble, aren't they?
Of course, because they're
Yeah.
corrupt.
Well, it would seem so, yeah.
No, they have been accused
Yeah.
of
Duplicitous
steering
behaviour,
people in the direction of, on the basis of cheap fares, travel fares,
Yes.
for the ones they get the most commission out
Yeah.
of.
You reckon, now, I'm not cutting him any slack here, but do you think Trivago are the only people in business that do that, do you?
Every business in
Yeah.
the world is corrupt, Mick. We keep saying this. The only thing that will come out of it is that Foxtel might stop putting those incessant ads on every show that they have about Trivago.
What
That's
about the woman trying to get a credit card back?
Yeah, and the other thing about the underwear, if I see one more ad about the underwear, you know, you put a banana down your pants and it doesn't ride up and it doesn't sweat, that underwear.
What's he
Talking about, you still owe me those Smarter Sam.
I don't owe you anything. I give them to you for nothing.
Well, you haven't. I've asked you for them 4 months ago.
well, what do you think I'm meant to say? Oh, by the way, Mick, here's your underwear. If you want it, say to me, where's the underwear?
Okay, where
it's
is
out
it?
through that wall there. I'll get it after.
Good, thank
Have you got any? You've obviously used them. They are the best.
they're
cut,
good.
they're the best cut underpants
are
briefs I've ever worn.
Are they sold commercially?
No.
They should be.
Don't
They should be on the market.
Don't start me as to why I got them in the first place.
No, but I agree with him. They are very
They
good.
are
I
the
know.
best. They're the best briefs
So
I
you
have
can't
ever
buy them?
worn.
No, I know they
Well,
are.
why don't people buy them?
Because we were going to market them, weren't we? We were going to market them. We got thousands of pairs made, and then the person who was going to market them, unfortunately for her, fell ill and died.
Well, you should sell them through your Instagram. What is it, or whatever else?
Yeah, smart as Sam. So
Smart
then
as
we've
Sam.
got to set up a marketing
Yeah.
area. We've
Well,
got to
they
pack them
are
up.
the-
We've got to send them out. We've got to take the money. We've got to...
Yeah.
Oh, well, anyway, you'll have thousands of boxes just sitting
Well, I'll
there.
tell you what, Don, when you
What?
stop finishing tampering around with your horses down there, whatever you do with them, I'm not
Ride
sure.
them.
As long as that's the only thing you do with them. When you finish tampering around with your horses, I'll give you the underwear.
I
I'll
hate
give you-
that. Don't do that.
I will give you the
Jeez, that annoys me.
Righto, we're both in the queue for that. Now,
I will give you the underwear, Donald.
Well, for what?
for nothing.
Did you listen? to any of
He
this?
was undoing my life. Don't do that. That's a pet hate.
I feel like
When
I'm back
you've
at school here.
finished tampering around with your horses, I will give you the underwear. You can put them in your
Okay,
little truck,
okay.
and you can take them down and go and sell them at a market.
I
And
am
will-
not a salesman.
I know
I'll
where
tell you
you
that
sell
now.
them.
But
Sell them at your son's pop-up coffee shop in Sorrento,
I will
which
give
you
you-
don't frequent.
I will split
well, I do. He
half-
makes the best.
He's pissed off with you. I went and got a
you
coffee.
don't swear.
I will split half I'll split half the proceeds with you. You can sell the 4,000.
I cannot sell. I am the worst
Okay,
salesman.
righto. No one cares.
Didn't you have a jean shop?
Yes, but I had girls employed to sell. I just
You
a
had
back room.
staff.
Yes.
Douglas
Girls.
Scott wants to know why you continually promote Baked in Sorrento, which is a great shop. I love that shop. But and not
Well,
his,
it's
not his-
nepotism, isn't it?
nepotism. It's your son's trying to make a living.
I know, and he
Hey.
makes the best coffee. And he's what are those?
Why don't you
bowls
ever
called?
pay him for him? You went in there the other day.
Why shouldn't I pay?
You went in there the other day and you got a coffee.
Yes.
And Doug sent his sister, who happens to be your daughter,
Yes.
out to see you, and you'd gone. Didn't pay and didn't compliment
Never
him on
have.
the coffee.
I have complimented my coffee. It's the best coffee I've had. So
Okay.
what? Hey, listen.
What?
Raising children, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Oh, no, I've done a perfect job with
Oh,
mine.
have you?
You cannot be serious.
I wish I had have.
How have you gone with your kids?
I've got 3 kids, one of each. And
You love that line.
yeah.
Give it now. We're doing stars or out of 10. You pick.
Yeah.
How would you rate yourself as a parent? Am I giving you a headache again?
Well, mate, it's too subjective to say that. Isn't
No,
it?
it's not.
Yes, it is.
You're the only one who knows how you've parented your
No,
children.
no, your children judge you, I can tell you.
That's it.
Yeah.
Your children are the only ones who can judge
How
you.
would you rate yourself as a parent?
Fair.
You tried, Michael. You try as a parent. And you're damned if you do and you're damned
How
if
many
you don't.
out of 10?
Stars. 5 out of 5 stars, like a film. Well, maybe half, 2.5.
2.5 stars. Well, how about you, Donald, with your two?
No, I tell you, I do a shocking job. I did a shocking job.
Geez,
So,
the three of us are out here, aren't we?
well, but at least we're probably honest and not trying to gild the lily. Now, this is why you shouldn't take, now I'm going to mention this word again, the woke
Yes,
world.
I gave myself 7 out of 10.
Seven?
If anyone's interested.
No, we're not interested. You're blowing your own
It was
bags up.
stars. Mick, you give yourself 3 out of 5?
I'd give myself 2 in their first 20 years and probably 4.5 in their next 20.
Fuck.
What's wrong?
Don't
with you?
swear.
You know, John, we're talking to people who are parents, right? Or who are children.
Are we?
Everyone has a vested interest in this.
No, but I just said give us. It's not a finite thing. I said give us a rating out of 5, and you said 2.5
No, but-
until they were 6,
but you know-
and then 3
No,
when they
well,
were
that's
7,
relevant,
and between
John.
7
Thanks,
and
John.
15.
No, I can-
and
I
as
can-
they got into their 30s and 40s, I mean, shit, mate.
Well,
3
he's
stars out
far
of
more
5.
compatible. He was building a reputation or something when
was
they were
building
younger.
a reputation, building a
Well, you were. You were never
retreat for him
home.
to live in.
I was never.
You were never home. You're playing golf and socialising and building your
Well, that's
your
why he
network,
probably cut
your
a few
sporting
stars
network.
off.
Will you shut up? And then you were cultivating your business early on. And then you got there, and so now you can cultivate.
Remember when we used to entertain you for dinner in Camberwell?
I used to do the dishes. Janine, she was a lovely lady.
Was? Now, Don,
Oh, he is.
Now,
I
Don,
haven't seen her for a long time.
this is why we shouldn't take seriously people who are advocates and have agendas. They criticise. Tell me this. What did you think when Rafa Nadal hit a ball into the face of a ball girl and he jumped the net? He didn't jump the net. He walked round and he lifted a cap up and he said he was very sorry and he gave her a peck on the cheek. And the advocates and the agenda seekers, the woke society came out and said it was sexual harassment. He shouldn't have done it. Why do we take these people seriously? Why would you give any credibility to those people who complain about
Were
that?
there a lot of complaints?
There were complaints about the usual suspects, those jumping up and down who want to be noticed.
Was it he kissed a girl on the cheek in front of 3 million people?
That he apologised for hitting the ball into her face and went down and said he was sorry.
It's the whole lot of that girl's 13 years on the planet.
Of course. And people now said it was not the right thing to do.
But that's the minority, John. Why are you
That's what
giving the minority credibility or exposure?
I was doing exactly the opposite, Donald. I was saying, why do we take these people seriously who come up with... There is a competition going in the world to see who can be the most offended and the most aggrieved. And if you can find fault with that, you are just having a lend of the community.
How did you enjoy your golf yesterday?
Shocking. I enjoyed the company, Mick. See, you're a contradiction in terms. I enjoy the company, but I don't enjoy my ability when I play badly.
You enjoyed the company. You were an hour and a half before you spoke to anyone. Your self-flagellation went for 90 minutes over a missed putt.
That is just a blatant lie, Mick. That is just
80 minutes.
I don't mind you being hyperbolic with me, but that is absolute lie. I am annoyed at myself. I drove in a cart with you. We spoke about a lot of things. I played with Warren and Mascarenhas. I had a lovely day and my golf was shit. Other than that, I'm not sure what
Stop
you're
being
on about.
self-indulgent, you two. What did you read in The Age about the cancers?
An
article.
The handout that you gave me 10 minutes ago, yes?
Oh, you're
What?
well, you got to be informed.
I just made a statement of fact.
Well, didn't you read The Age through the week?
Not every day, no.
I think
All right,
Well, why don't
the
you
intro
tell us
says a
about it?
controversial new study claims about 1 in every 5 cancers diagnosed in Australia would have been better left undiscovered.
And we've
You
both
agree with that? You've both had prostate.
Well,
Why'd you
both
get him
of-
to read that out? You bought
he
bought it in, Don.
Well, I can't read.
brought it in.
Bought. No,
He
when
brought
you
it in,
That's
buy
correct.
Yeah.
I think I
brought
said
is
brought.
when you BR
Brought
is
to
when
bring
you buy
up when
something.
No, it's when you carry something.
Brought to
No,
bring.
bought is the one without the R. Bought
that's
is when you
purchase.
buy. Yes,
Yeah.
And the other one is with the R is when you actually physically bring something. And so,
Thank you, Donald.
I tell you what we're going to
well,
do.
he mucks it up every week.
does.
I'm just trying to help him.
I do. Yes, I'd like to
You
be
take
taught.
English
Yes,
lessons
no,
from
that's
Don.
right. Being taught by someone who is. And now, Don,
do you think that's funny?
I tell you what we're going to do, Don. We're going to have an apostrophe.
Well,
we're
hang
gonna
on.
have
What
an
about the
We're going to
can-
have an apostrophe session one day.
Yeah.
When to use and where to use apostrophes.
Were you a good student?
No,
Weren't you?
no.
You did HSC or
Yes,
year 12?
I did. I
Matric.
matriculated.
Yeah. What did you? We didn't have TERs or TARs.
No,
or,
we didn't.
So
How many-
how many subjects did you pass?
5. You had to pass 5.
Well, that's good.
Well,
Did you get honours? A, B, C?
I said I wasn't a good student, Don.
No, well, 60, 70, 80.
I know. I just passed.
No, that's very good to get
were
matric.
you funny at school?
Funny.
You like? What,
Oh, it's hilarious.
He's
no,
built-
but were you or not?
No, I don't know.
You don't know.
Well, that is a
was
very
surly.
subjective thing to
Oh,
say.
Jesus.
Very silly.
You won't have an answer to anything. It's all subjective.
Was I funny at
well,
school?
you, were like, you know how you're crazy now. Were you like that at school?
No, he's cultivated that image.
Has
He
he?
was a dummy.
Were you?
I remember him as
Says
a dummy.
Ron Blaskett over here. Holy crap. Ron Blaskett.
How were you, Jerry, at school?
Yeah. Pretty good, thanks. Buy a bottle today. Now,
What about the cancer? What about the cancer?
so Don brought this
well,
subject
Don-
and got you to read it out and wants us to discuss it. Go on, Don. Say us about the
Well,
cancer.
you do the same to us. You've got your little notes there, and we've got to make it. Don't do
Go on,
that.
Don.
I hate it.
Go on, Don. You think that the people who
Well,
are
it's
rounding
being
us up...
overdiagnosed, and the study has found overdiagnosed. I just wonder whether we were overdiagnosed and whether we...
With your prostates?
With
Yes.
Yeah.
Don called it
Yes.
prostate before. So you
Oh,
think your
thank you.
prostate...
It's PR.
yeah, prostate.
That's distinct from prostrate.
Yes, prostrate.
Yeah.
That's what people
Yeah,
say.
one's laying down and the other's...
Very good, Donald.
Yeah.
Now, serious. Would your time over again? Would both of you have had prostate surgery?
I wouldn't have.
You would not have.
No. What I know now, no.
What about you, John?
Well, I was advised I had an
PSA
advanced-
score pretty high, didn't you?
There you are. See, I didn't even...
Well, I'm asking.
I'm looking at you and I'm hearing something and your lips haven't moved.
Well, this is Ron Blaskett. I was advised by the doctor that I had an advanced case of prostate cancer. Seeing as I'm not a medical person and not a specialist, I took his advice and his opinion on advisement, Donald, and I had it out within a week.
And what was your PSA?
16.
Was it?
What? Did you do a biopsy?
Yes, I did it myself.
What was
I got home.
Oh,
and I
you idiot.
Stuck, a
What was your...
stuck some skewers up me aort, and I ripped out a bit of tissue, and I said, shit, I put it in some litmus paper, and I said, fuck, I'm dying. And I rang him up, and he came round, and he took it out with a hacksaw and a fucking chisel. What are you talking about?
What
you
type of
stupid
chisel
man?
was it?
Fucking hell. Dealing with it. Oh, you heady boy shit. I've never
Oh,
heard it.
geez, where's the microphone?
Now,
Well, before
Go
you leave
ahead.
the cancers, what?
What did you...
16's no good.
Oh,
It should be
1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
no,
yeah. but- and-
16 is exceptional, unbelievable.
And the problem is
high.
when it goes up in a hurry.
Yes, so Don
Well,
said...
mine's went from 2.9 to 3.2 and had it out. Now,
Yes. Well, Don said, why did I have it done? And I said, because I was advised that that is serious, and he took it out immediately. In fact, he was lecturing on the robotic way of taking it out in Japan, my doctor. His name is Harewood, Professor Harewood, and he was lecturing about the method over in Japan, and he would have taken it out that week, but because he was in Japan, I had to wait for a fortnight.
So you did it robotically.
Robotically. He
and
sits
did
on
you
one
have
side of the
how did-
room.
How did it get
He
so...
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how did it get so high? Didn't you have regular checks prior to?
Well, obviously not.
No, did you have checks?
I'm trying to give you a serious question. I'm giving you a serious answer to this. I would have had checks, yearly checks about blood and all that, but it must have manifested itself.
Did you have the digital?
No, I didn't, because I went in to have a sunspot checked on
Yeah,
my hand, and
yeah.
the GP said, "That's all right, I can tell, but give us some blood, just so you haven't wasted the Medibank levy." And he rang me the next day or after it was tested. He said, "Mate, you've got an advance."
PSAs,
That's
yeah,
it. So
yeah.
that's how it happened.
I was doing it every 3 months. I advise every 3 months for a PSA.
Were you, Donald? So why did you get it out?
Well, I was told because it went from 2.9 to 3.2.
And
knowing what I know now, I would have sat and watched.
Did
and
you have
waited.
the digital, Don?
I had digital. I had a nodule, but the digital was detected years before. They said, "Don't worry about it," and the biopsy was still below the cutoff
Would
point
you-
of
I know
7.6.
you were going to say here.
Would you like a second opinion with the digital? If you can just wait after
That's
we
a
finish
great
this.
name, isn't it? Smart Ass Sam.
Yeah.
I didn't
Don-
realise how.
Don-
Who came up with that?
Now, Don, you'll think I'm...
He
Don,
did. Well, that's very clever,
Don,
isn't it?
you'll think I'm...
Smarter Sam or smarter Sam.
Don.
You can take it two ways.
That's why I did it. Now, Don, you'll think I'm winding you up, but in case people listening who are this is probably just the men in this case, who've got prostate, how does it affect your libido and your love life and the fact that you might be able to or not get an erection?
No, you know what I'd do?
No.
I would employ sex therapists after the operation. If you're interested in having a sexual
Some that
relationship,
come down, massage the old
yes, do whatever they
The old
want.
knob.
Yes,
So Don-
exactly right, because it is a muscle and it needs to be cultivated.
what you stick,
Yes, you're old fellow.
the old blue-veined hooligan.
Yes, and there is a real.
Hey, the blue-veined hooligan. Hey, the vermilion-tipped kidney product. You need that to be massaged, do you, Don?
Hey, Donald, if you
Yes,
if it didn't,
if you've had the
Can
operation.
you get it up at will?
with Will.
No, not with.
Oh, will you?
Can you get it up at will?
Actually,
Can you
it
get
was
a hard
funny-
on,
It was
Don?
funny when the nerves were coming back into play. I'd be laying in bed and I'd have an erection. I wasn't even thinking about sex.
what were you thinking about?
Well, yeah,
Nothing. I was just
Jesus.
laying there.
You weren't
and
thinking
I'm
about
just
your
saying
horses,
about
were you? You weren't thinking about one of your
I'm
horses.
just saying about the
He's thinking
repairing
about those
of nerves.
koalas, Sam.
Oh, that's that.
What, the chlamydia?
Yeah, it might have been a thought transportation. You might have got chlamydia through thought process. There is
Hey,
a
listen,
koala out there with a very shiny nose. I like
Sorry,
that.
this must be funny.
If you can't do it naturally and
Yep.
you
No, I can.
wait a sec, and you want to do it,
Yep.
Yeah, there's
What's-
many ways you can do it.
What do you do,
what's
Don?
your preferred course, Don?
You stick
Well,
it
I
in.
don't have that problem, but there's injection.
Do you use the injections?
No.
You've never used an injection.
Yes. I have initially.
How does that work, Don?
Oh, Johnny, you stick it in your ear, Johnny. You
So
idiot.
hang on. So you've got a presume a woman back in the rack, and you're about to exercise the option. Do you reach in and get a syringe out and
Well, tell me what you-
inject
well, you
a
tell me
serum
what
of
you-
stuff into your dick, which
Yeah,
makes
well,
it go as
yes,
hard
and
as
you-
a cat's head? Do you?
Exactly, and you
Oh,
know
geez, that's
exactly what
romantic.
it's like.
How romantic's that?
Well,
Just
what
a
else
minute.
would you like to do?
I'd just like to actually get it up on its own volition.
And can you? Oh, you heard?
Can I?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Well, you need a bit of help, Michael.
of
They might-
course I
Don and
can.
I know a bloke.
I can have it
Don
round
and
up
I know a bloke.
beautifully.
So
Sammy.
you,
wait a sec.
hang on, hang on. We're
Put that
talking
down. I'll put your
about
laces
this.
again. Don and I know a bloke who used the injection.
Who?
Don.
You may choose to name him, and he had to go to hospital
Yeah, I had to. I was
to
5 hours.
deflate it.
Well, I was up for 5
That's
hours.
right. He
for
looked
me.
like a circus tent. He walked around for an hour, a day and a half,
Saw it.
with
Did
his
you
pants
over-
out 4 foot from his groin.
Did you over-inject yourself?
Did I what?
Inject yourself.
No.
Put too much in.
I
did.
never injected myself. If I had to inject myself in order to get a hard on to have sex with someone, man, woman, or beast, I'd snatch it, give it away.
Snatch what?
I'd give it away.
Oh, okay.
How often do you put the injection in, Don?
I used to.
And now what do you do?
Nothing. I
Strap
you-
it-
No.
get some icy pole sticks.
Viagra stimulates blood flow. It's a heart.
How is
tablet.
your love life going, Donald?
Oh, Michael.
Yeah, that's a good question.
What?
How is it?
It's all right.
Oh, sorry?
Who's the current?
Chlamydia caused a bit of problem.
It did too. I think it did.
With the koalas or women?
Well, with women.
Don, you could get a couple of icy pole sticks and wrap some rubber bands around it. That'll keep it out straight for a while.
Really?
Now, who's the current person? Don't have to mention names, but where have you got onto this person? Down,
Person.
she a horsewoman?
Oh, excuse me.
All the horse manure?
Thank you, Jack. I was waiting for something.
So, Mick, you've had no problems because you've still got your prostate.
I have.
Any problems at all?
Yeah.
Getting a
Getting a woman.
Oh, you plenty of women. You coffee everybody. You're texting all the
I
time.
coffee everybody. I think
Coffee.
I'm a eunuch actually. I just have coffee with people.
yeah.
I think you've got a problem. Do
Yeah.
you want to have a talk?
No. No thanks.
Now, just righto. Now we're just coming to the end of this. So have your music ready. I just want to ask you.
No,
this
I
is
haven't
serious.
got it ready because I never got the approval to
We've
do
got
it.
our music.
I've got a serious question.
Yeah.
Do you think, politics aside, Mick,
Yep.
the Australian government should have a moratorium on people coming back from China, particularly the region that is affected by coronavirus, until they work out who's carrying it and who's not? We should stop people coming back into the country until they're properly tested.
What, for how long?
Till they're properly tested and there's a reasonable
So is it, what,
expectation that no one will bring it back into the country.
A 10-day incubation period? isn't there?
Mick, I'm just saying there is discussion about why we're allowing people to return to the country after they've been in those provinces which are beset with coronavirus.
So if you come, this is a question back to you. If you come from that province in China,
yes,
and you land in Australia,
yes,
are you automatically medically checked?
I think you are. They're aware
I think
of you.
you've absolutely. I think everyone's medically checked.
Are they?
If you come from
I'm not
China.
sure about that. I think that they are spoken to about you. If you have these symptoms, you should see a doctor. But are they all?
I
think
think
there are a
they've gone
couple-
to the next stage.
Yeah.
I don't know this for sure, but because some people might have snuffles and colds, and they might say it's
They'd
flu.
be sniffles, would they?
Snuffles. They're things you dig out of the ground.
Snuffles.
Truffles. Oh, no, that's
you get
truffle.
snuffles out of the ground.
Well, I
do
thought
you?
it was no truffle.
Yes. All right. So you don't think you should stop
Well,
people coming
I
back
do,
from
but
China?
and this will shock you, but this is a long way from finished. I mean,
That's my point.
The exponential.
Exponential. I like it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm mentioning
Yeah.
it. People say it's infringement on your civil liberties, and you're Australians, you're naturalised Australians, even though you've come from China. We should be err on the side of caution. Now, finally,
Yep.
I noticed you told me yesterday that there's some new footy shows coming up on the market. I don't know if you're part of any of them on Fox, and I'm certainly not part of them on Nine, but you said that the friend that you went to see 1917 with is starting
Her
a
name's
new
Caroline Wilson, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Starting a new footy show with...
Edward
Yes.
Maguire is going to be the compere of the Wednesday night edition of Footy
Wednesday.
Classified, which will come 48 hours after the Monday night edition of Footy Classified.
And who's on Monday night's edition?
Hutchison,
Yes.
Wilson, Lloyd.
Oh, Wilson's got a
Yes,
billing. She
yeah.
got second billing.
I think Wilson and Lloyd are doing both nights.
I see. And what's the idea of the difference between the Monday and the Wednesday
Look,
night?
a layman's observation, I think it's a mistake.
No, but what do you think the difference between? You must have spoken to one of the people on
Why
it.
can't you say her name?
You must have spoken to Caroline Wilson
Yeah.
about it. What is the difference between the Monday night roundup of the week's activities and the Wednesday one?
Well, I don't believe there is a difference. I mean, what happens between Monday night? There may be a tribunal
my
result.
question.
Yeah, well,
But aren't the teams published on Wednesday night if they're playing
that's-
Thursday?
That doesn't.
okay. Well, you wouldn't base a half an hour
Well,
program on a team.
I'm just floating an idea.
So
I'm asking.
moving ahead,
Well,
is
ask the
there
bloke who can't speak. He used to be in television. He can nod one way or the other. Would you think that? Would you have two programs of the same genre within 48 hours?
just a minute. He's not. He's non-committal.
He's
Isn't
not
it
committal.
anything?
No,
No, just-
he's still looking for a job. He
No,
might
Mick,
have to-
I'm going further than this. I'm going further than this. So you got a Monday night show, Wednesday. Is Thursday out? Is Sunday footy show
Well,
still
Thursday
going?
will be the what's the channel? Mick Malloy and Sam Pang, the front bar
No, I'm talking about Nine.
on 9.
Nine are doing
A new Wednesday night
Monday.
program. Monday, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yep.
They're not doing Thursday. And they doing the Sunday footy show?
Yes, they are.
So they're having 4 footy shows.
Are you surprised Ed's coming back to compare Wednesday nights?
Sort of. So they're going to have 4 footy shows, are they, 9? Or they're not doing Thursday?
They don't have the footy show's gone, isn't it?
Well, it was traditionally for 26 years.
Yeah.
It was on Thursday, so they're disbanding that, are they? Disbanding that.
It wasn't on last year, was it?
Yeah, of course it was.
The footy show was
Yeah,
on.
it was on for 5 weeks.
Well,
And it got flicked.
it wasn't the real footy. It wasn't your footy show.
No, it wasn't our
The two,
footy.
the
No,
two
of course it
Monday,
wasn't.
the two shows you're talking about, are they both produced by Maguire or Hutchison? Well, the Monday night, is that done by Hutchison's
I think-
production company?
Good question,
or is
Don.
it-
It's Maguire's. Isn't it Maguire Media, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm asking a question.
Well, I think I don't work at Channel 9. I'm not sure I work anywhere, but I don't work at Channel 9.
Well, you and me both.
Well, if the Channel 9
No.
want to do
Now,
if Channel 9 want to do a grand final spectacular
Yeah.
in 2020,
be great. I hope I'll get a front seat either at the home or I'll go to a pub and watch it. Be
So you won't be on
fantastic.
it?
Eh?
you won't be on
They
it.
wouldn't want me on it, so I wouldn't be on it.
But they're paying you money.
Oh, thrippence.
Oh, thrippence.
Just a
Jeez, I'd like to get that
small
thrippence.
stipend. So no, but they will have moved on to bigger and better things. So what about Hurd and Crawford? Were going to do something.
Yeah,
weren't
you've
they?
told me, you've said that. I don't know. I don't know if that.
You know who
if
told
that's
us
the
that?
case.
Don, the woman that you're trying to. I hope you're not using injections with her.
Who's that?
The gossip
Fiona
column,
Byrne?
Yeah, for what?
Are you anything happening there?
With who? Yeah. Oh no. She's
Well,
in,
she
no.
said-
Actually, I should bring her. There's a show on. She might like to come to horse show. She's into horses.
She
Okay.
said
Thank
Hurd
you.
and Crawford were going to do something
They do a podcast, don't they?
like us.
Not anymore. They did a podcast.
Why don't they do it anymore? It wasn't successful.
We've
Wasn't as
we've
sharp.
taken their markets.
Wasn't as scintillating. All right, now Don, we've come to an end. A song to go out with.
Well, I would have liked "I Am Australian" by Bruce Woodley.
Yeah,
I saw it. Performed
Stretch.
by Bruce.
We're gonna
I
get it
saw it performed by Bruce Woodley in 2009. He wrote an extra 2 verses after the bushfires. It was a memorial service
Stretch.
to the bushfires, Black Wednesday or the Victorian bushfires. I
Good
think
choice, Donald. And so
I
are you
think
done?
no, I'm not,
Okay.
because
All right,
it touches
keep
on the original inhabitants of this country, the Aboriginal. He starts off with
Yes,
that
yes.
and reminds us as Caucasians of where we came from on the boats
Right.
as prisoners, our forebears.
Before you
Very
do that,
glad. Could I ask him this? And you, why is Australia Day celebrated on the 26th of January?
I really don't know, but I don't think I'd be celebrating Australia Day.
Why is Australia Day the 26th of January?
wasn't it, Sammy? Wasn't it ANA Day in the old days?
Might have been. Why is it the Australian National...
I'm saying
We
Natives
grew
Association?
up without an Australia Day, so I really don't
I'll
take
tell you
much
why it
interest.
is. Well, I'll tell you why it is, because in 1788, Captain Arthur Phillips sailed up
No
Botany
S.
Bay.
Philip?
On the first fleet landed in Botany Bay in 1788 on the 26th of January.
Okay.
And if he hadn't done that, this country wouldn't be what it is today.
Okay, and now
That's a fact.
back to Don's song, which is a very inspired choice.
But hang on, if Dirk Hartog
Tasmania.
had have landed, no, sorry, Western Australia, William
Dirk
Dampier,
Hartog.
Dirk Hartog,
Yep.
were the one. He
Yeah,
left a plate in
Yeah,
Western Australia.
that's right.
Had he have discovered
But he
the
didn't.
eastern coast, we could have been a Dutch. Well, we wouldn't have been here. It would
That's
have been
right.
a Dutch country.
That's why we celebrate Australia Day on the 26th, because the first fleet landed in
But
Botany
don't you think
Bay.
we
That was the first.
invaded? We invaded.
Of course we did, Donald. But why go on about it? If he hadn't come in the first fleet in 26th of January 1788, this country wouldn't be what it is today. Either the Chinese would have come here and probably put all the indigenous people in jail,
probably
like
did.
they've put the Muslims in jail in
They
China.
did come here early on.
Wouldn't the same have applied in America? Would the English, did they invade America?
Yes.
Yes, that's why they had the
The
Civil
Indian
War, didn't
Wars.
Civil War? I
Didn't
don't
they?
think
No,
so.
they no.
Americans-
The Civil War was
Americans.
between
It was North and South,
North
wasn't
and
it?
South, but they did because they invaded the Indian Wars.
Yeah.
So then the English are the most aggressive race on the earth.
You could stretch.
Yeah,
We're going to
you-
just put the
You
song.
were, I think you were right last week when you said about the Judith Durham version of that
Yes.
song, which is, it's a brilliant song.
It is.
And I think probably I'd lean with you about Durham's version if I had to pick one.
Did you find it?
No, but I just recalled it. You know how sometimes things come back
much
to me.
more upbeat, and it's a fantastic song.
But Bruce Woodley wrote it, I think,
Yes.
did, and it's a brilliant composition.
Now, why are they more harmonious racially in New Zealand than what we are here in Australia?
The Maoris.
With the Maori, the New Zealanders seems to be a very harmonious relationship there. What did they do differently, the English do differently in New Zealand than what they did in Australia?
I'm not sure they are any more harmonious, are they?
Well,
I
on the
think so.
outside,
Well, the haka is the national anthem, isn't it?
and they do sing their national anthem in both Maori and English.
National anthem. The
They do acknowledge the Maoris better than we do, the Aborigines.
So why
Do you
did the
think that's
English
right? You
change?
don't think we acknowledge the Aborigines?
I don't think so. No.
I think we still. I think we
We-
pay lip service to
Yes.
the assimilation process.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Is this it?
Just start from the start, Jack.
So you want us to end this podcast every day?
No, we come up with a different one every week.
Okay. What happens when the football season starts? What will we go out with?
Geelong theme
We are
song.
champions.
Geelong theme song. You could sing. There's an entree for you. Instead of doing Frank Sinatra, you could do the Geelong theme song.
Okay.
24.
Yep. We're done.